Did you know that 99% of all the energy consumed in Nebraska is brought in from outside the state? That means there's an opportunity, an entrepreneurial opportunity in renewable energy. Thanks for joining us on Next Biz Success. My name is Lynn Hinderaker. I'm visiting today with Michael Schonka. He's an alternative energy expert and a veteran in the solar energy area. Michael, welcome to Next Biz Success.
Thank you, Lynn.
Is there an opportunity in renewable energy? Is there really a bankable opportunity here in this state? And what does it consist of exactly?
Yes, there are many opportunities for renewable energy in Nebraska. And solar is evolving and it's coming into vogue as it did in the 1980s. Partly because of the tax credit. There's a 30% tax credit currently.
30%?
30%.
So what does that mean? If I drop $10,000 on some solar panels for a building, then I get to write off $3,000 of that investment then against my taxes?
Exactly.
Okay.
For the homeowner, it's just a tax credit. However, for a business, you also get renewable credits in the form of depreciation and some other factors, which even makes it a better investment.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
That's great. So why don't all homeowners and businesses have solar panels and other kinds of apparatuses hanging on their buildings right now?
Well, a couple of reasons. One is we have really low utility costs in Nebraska, and that's a bonus for the state. So the actual amount of money that the consumer pays out over time is not as high as other parts of the country.
All right, so we need a financial incentive, and it's not
incentive.
quite as pressing here as it is elsewhere.
In some regards. However, we do have 6,600 heating degree days in Nebraska.
Now, wait a minute. Explain that statistic
I
to
know.
me. What did you just say?
It's a big number.
6,600
heating degree days. And that's every day that it's below, say, 65 or 72 degrees, however they calculate that number.
Okay.
That's a heating degree day.
Okay.
So the average temperature of that day, if it's 40 degrees, then there's like 25 or so degrees difference. You add them all up, it becomes 6,800. It's just about as cold here as it is in Minneapolis, and we always think of Minneapolis as being colder.
Yeah.
However, that produces an opportunity for a lot of space heat requirements.
Okay. Okay.
And so space heating is our biggest need. Our second biggest for the residential market is hot water. And it's almost the flip in the commercial market. In the commercial market, hot water for process heat, for like dishwashing in a restaurant, for example, or laundry at a hospital, for example. Those are huge demands.
All right. Now, Michael Schonka, tell me, when you say these needs exist, be specific. Are we talking about solar-powered space heaters, or what are we talking about here exactly?
Sure. There's really two types of solar. There's solar electric, which is what comes to mind to most people right away. And that is connecting up some solar panels that make electricity and putting them into your house or into the grid, so to speak.
Okay.
It can be a standalone or integrated application.
Now, when you say integrated, in other words, it's integrated into the grid?
Into the grid, yes.
Or as opposed to just isolated, kind of heating your house or a room in your house?
Correct. Well, it's not heating. It's electric. So solar electric actually gives you the chance to connect to the grid and add power to the grid, take power when you need it.
Okay, now in Nebraska, does the grid want your energy? Are they going to pay you for it? Is it of any value to feed electricity back into the grid?
We just recently passed a net metering bill in Nebraska. After trying for 19 years, Nebraska is now the 43rd state to have net metering.
Net metering. Now explain that briefly.
Okay. Net metering is the opportunity to get money back from the grid in a one-to-one exchange.
Okay.
So if I'm producing a kilowatt of energy, I send that more than I need, I send that to the grid. If I need a kilowatt of energy, I take it back. The meter, in a sense, theoretically, would spin either direction.
Okay, but it's offsetting the cost of purchasing electricity. Okay.
Yes.
And when you sell it back to the grid, are you selling it to the local power plant, or does it go out somewhere in the ether and get used somewhere else?
It gets used somewhere else.
It really does.
Yeah.
Is there really a grid underneath the earth or something like that? I mean, I just want to know this question.
The electrical grid is a very, very sophisticated operation. It marvels me every bit I learn about it.
If it marvels you, it dumbfounds me, Michael. But really, I mean, is it there? Is it a physical thing that's somewhere that's connecting everything?
Yeah, all the wires are interconnected, and they're all metered and measured, and so there's connecting points around the state where other grids are connected, and these are...
And they can exchange energy and buy and sell from each other.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, you've been around. What other forms of renewable energy other than solar are we talking about? You mentioned wind, for instance. Where's the business opportunity there?
Wind systems are going to be very good, mostly in the rural areas. And the reason for that is a lot of the cities haven't decided how to handle the codes yet. Some of the equipment needs to innovate so it's more adaptable to city applications.
Okay.
You can't have a 100-foot tower in your backyard.
Yeah.
When it falls down, or if it does, it might fall on somebody else's
Yes.
yard. So there could be an issue there. So they're looking at smaller systems that may be helical in design, where it's like a spiral.
They go around
It just goes
horizontally,
around,
sure.
and you could mount it on a rooftop or on a flagpole or something of that nature. So there's a lot of opportunities yet for innovation. We don't quite have all the answers at this time.
Okay.
But wind is more applicable to the rural area.
All right. And when somebody has a wind turbine out there or a windmill, would it generate enough electricity to actually make a living, or just to kind of offset their current electrical bill?
Both.
Both.
Depending on your level of investment, your ability to purchase, pay for the equipment, the loans, the tax credits, et cetera, all that formulates in. The most popular systems are basically designed for a house.
Okay. What about things like turf, and crop management and all those other? Is there some next wave of revolution there insofar as the green movement is concerned, or solar or wind energy or whatever? Is there something that's on the horizon that's coming at us that we're not fully used to yet or ready to absorb into the economy?
I think there will be more. Ethanol is one opportunity. Switchgrass will be another. Machanthus. And some of these haven't quite been hybridized properly yet, so there's some opportunities.
How about the
there.
methane thing with the large,
Yes.
producers of livestock?
The methane digester is an excellent solution because not only does it provide power
Right.
and an income stream for the farmer, it solves the odor problem, the soil contamination problem, the water contamination problem, and the whole methane
Seems like a
problem releasing.
huge thing. It seems
It's
like a huge opportunity for our
total
state.
benefit. Total benefit.
Is anybody moving forward with great speed and haste and hiring people and building companies around this thing, or is it still just kind of a little cottage industry?
Right now it's a cottage industry, but it has a lot of promise. There's still some things to work out on the technology, but the biggest hindrance right now of the adoption of these types of applications is the financial one.
I was just going to say, in 10 seconds or less, can you get grant money or loans easily if you want to move into this area as an entrepreneur?
It's probably more time than it's worth at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you're a business, a nonprofit, you may have some opportunities there, but for a single entrepreneurial type person, I think it's going to be difficult.
Pretty tough, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Micah Schonk, I feel enlightened now. At least I know the lay of the land. I know what's going on in the renewable energy and the alternative energy industries. Thank you for cueing us in. I know you've been on top of it and will continue to be. Thanks for joining us right here on Next Biz Success. We've been talking to Michael Schonka, and now you know that renewable energy is an opportunity, but again, you have to fit into the stream and be realizing that certain opportunities are more pressing, more obvious, and more tangible than others. My name is Lynn Hinderaker. Now you have the opportunity to keep on going and keep on growing.